Right, so what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know I appreciate having you here. And I'm finally getting around to fitting the full Black Widow system that they kindly sent me. I've already put the end can on. I've been running around with that for a while. I've done a video with the sound of the end can with the baffle in, baffle out. I haven't done the original can sound because I'd have to fit it all back up and I simply haven't got time to put that back on. Although it's a very simple process in reverse to put the end can back on. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to just go straight ahead, fit the full system, fit the end can. It's going to be exciting. I use that term extremely loosely because it's a workshop thing. Look, I've already cut my poor little finger there, taking the baffle out. I took it out with my hand and sliced my finger. So be careful when taking baffles in and out. Not only are they hot, but they're bloody sharp. Right, so I'll show you what we got on at the moment before I do the weighing. I'm going to weigh the two end cans, the original can and the Black Widow one. But first of all, let me show you what I've got in place. Right, this is the original system here that goes all the way under here to this ugly thing here that's going to be removed. All that will come off. The end can obviously goes on there. That's the end can I've got there, and that's the original one there. So let's weigh these two to see how much weight you save just changing the end cans. Let's see how much lighter that is compared to the original one. Right, what I've got here is a simple suitcase weigher, so we're gonna see the difference between the two cans. I've got it set on pounds at the moment, so we're gonna do this in pounds. If you want to convert it, you can convert it yourself. Right, so here we go with the original can. I don't know if you can see that. That's 9.7 pounds. Let's go down there, just to prove I'm correct. And that's with the original can on. It actually feels really, really heavy. I'm wobbling a little bit here. I need to get down the gym. So yeah, 9.7-ish pounds. That's the original one. This little beauty here. If you want to go down the gym, just do some of that. Right, so now we're on the aftermarket can, the Black Widow one that I've got. It's spinning a little bit, so it's changing. But we're around 4.2, 4.1 pounds on that. And that's that little beauty there. The hardest thing is trying to find something to hook it onto to weigh it. But yep, we're coming out, well, it's fluctuating between 3.9 and 4.2. We've settled on 3.96 at the moment. So that's a huge saving just on the end can. Right, so here's the box. As I said, I've already put the end can on. I've had that on for a while. But in the box you've got all these different bits. You've got loads of different bits. So what I'm going to do is place them all out on the mat and let you have a look at how many bits we got, because it's a bit of a jigsaw. Right, we're back into it. We're getting serious now. We've got instructions, and I would advise always use instructions, especially if you're like me. What I used to do was throw the instructions away, ruin it, and then end up breaking everything inside and getting angry. Now, this is a rare thing for me. I don't usually do workshop videos, but we are going to fit the new Black Widow exhaust. We've got a full system kindly sent by Black Widow for the CB1000R. If you've been on my Instagram, you'll know I've already fitted the end can, and I've done a sound bite for the end can with the baffle in and the baffle out that I'll put on the end of this. I haven't done the standard can because I changed the end can over, and there's a little link pipe, and I can't be bothered basically to show you what it sounds like normally. There's plenty of videos out there with the CB1000R with a standard can, so I've just given you what the Black Widow one sounds like, end can with the baffle in and baffle out. Now I'm going to fit the full system and then do the same thing again, baffle in, baffle out, to let you hear what it sounds like and, of course, let you see what it looks like. So, let's crack on with this video. Right, thank you very much for sticking around. Right, the first port of call is I'm not a mechanic. This is the first time I've ever fitted a full system to a motorcycle. Any motorcycle, anywhere in the world. Mechanically, I haven't really done a lot. I've done services and little things and bits and bobs and everyday stuff to bikes, but I've never fitted anything major. So this is the first major project, and we're going to share it together. Black Widow exhaust have said to me that it's pretty easy to fit, so even a numpty like me can fit it. So if I can fit it, you can fit it. Right, first port of call. The instructions. We definitely need the instructions. I have unboxed everything. I've got it laid out here. Let me show you that. So there you go. There's some bits and bobs, the downpipes, the little connectors, the end can there, and a little box of magic here. It's not magic really, it's just nuts and bolts. Unless nuts and bolts are your magic, then it's magic. I've got some tools dotted around here. I've made a right mess. I haven't got any of the tools out because I haven't really looked at what I need yet, but here we go with the instructions. Make sure it's the right bike. Yep, it's got the usual, bit like IKEA, Shows you what's in the box, so check you've got all the right things first before you dismantle and go ahead taking your old one off and then fitting a new one and finding you only got the bits. So I'd advise doing that. So anyway, there's the instructions. I've read that. Let's get fitting. I'm of course only joking. I am going to read them properly, but obviously that's boring, so I'm going to switch you off and get back to you when we're doing something a little bit more exciting. Right, I've checked and that's all good. All the bits are there. Handy. So what we're going to do now is get on and read the instructions. It says take the end can off. So the end can's already off. As I was running the end can on its own, it had this little connector here, so that'll probably have to go as well when I fit the full system. But the end can, that one there, was already on, so I've just whipped that off. You're not going to see that. That's just a bolt there and this little gubbins here, a little connector here and a little connector here. Basically took about 5 minutes, if that. Nice and easy. Right, so number 1 on the list is remove the silencer. Number 2 on the list is, I don't know if you can see that, remove the lambda sensor, which is, let's go in here, see if I can get in there. This little gubbins here. So we're just going to undo that and take that out. Oh, it's exciting. So there we go, just a 70mm spanner. And we just get it in there, a little bit awkward. There we go, we got it now. And there we go. That's out. So that's what it looks like. So just leave that dangling for now. Make sure you don't muck that wire up. And then we just got to do the same on the sensor on the other side. Exactly the same, so I'm not going to show you that. But get over there, 17mm spanner, and then we're done for the lambda sensors. Right, so that's the other side done. Weirdly, that was an 18mm spanner. So this side 17mm, this side 17mm, the other side 18mm. Strange, but true. Right, so next stage is this one. Locate the 2 lower exhaust mounting bolts and undo and remove, which is that there. So we're going to undo this one here, which is on a 12mm socket or a spanner, whatever you prefer. So that was nice and easy. Let me get the extension. There we go, and I can just shove it on there, then turn it. Make sure there's no bolt on the other side to fall off, and that's that. I don't know how it comes off. I'm assuming that pushes through, but I'm going to undo the other side first. It's exactly the same, but on the other side, which is over there. Right, so we've done those. They were both exactly the same on either side, as in 12mm and easy to get out. There is still this little gubbins in here. It's the same on the other side, but it doesn't say anything about removing those at the moment. So I don't know whether they just pop out the other side, because they seem quite secure, but the thing's quite secure. But the next step is to remove the bolts up there. So I'm not sure once you do this whether it makes that easier to come out. If not, if they're supposed to come out, I'll just tap them out in a minute. But for now, we're just going to undo the bolts here, the headers, and we'll go from there. Right, so what we got up here is they're 10mm. So I've got my socket and I've got a spanner, and simply because it's quite hard to get the socket in with the extension, and I need the extension because the size of the socket. So we're going to go with a 10mm spanner on this one and see how long it takes to undo. Old school, we're going old school. A little bit fiddly, but the reward will be worth it. Right, so I've got to do all of those. Problem is now I put the camera in the way, I can't see anything, I need to lay there. So sorry folks, I'm going to have to move you. Oh, I'm pretty glad you tuned in, aren't you? This is why I've ordered a motorcycle bench. It will make life much easier. Don't squash your finger like that. That's not a clever thing to do. I told you I'm not a professional. I'm pretty sure you're bored with this now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the bolts off, and then we're going to go from there, and then I'll come back to you. Right, that's all bolts done. Little bit of pain in the backside. It took me about 10 minutes, but not bad. It'd be much easier. If I had a lift, it'd be so much easier. A lot of lying on the floor over the other side, and unfortunately, this matting here does not go to the other side, so I had to lay in the dirt. So let's have a little look up here. So there we go. That's the bolts off all the way along. The one on the far side up here is a little bit fiddly because this is in the way. When they get loose, you can just use that to undo it, but there's a couple where this doesn't slot straight in, so you have to use the spanner. So it's a little bit fiddly because you've only got small movements, but we're there now. and you know you're there because these things drop off, and all the bolts are there. So let's get on and remove that. And what I noticed when the front bit dropped down was this bit here. I was worried that that was stuck through, but that's all part and parcel of this. The exhaust just dropped down, so the same on the other side. Don't know if you can see through there, but it's dropped down on both sides. So hopefully a little bit of wiggling and we should be able to get the front bit off. Let's put you there so you can see me sweat. Wow, that was easy. I hope that it's as easy to put on as that bit was to remove. A little bit fiddly, as I said, but all in all, if it wasn't for the filming, that probably would have taken me about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops. So nice and easy to remove. Let's get that out the way, and what I'm going to do is weigh that. I'm not going to weigh the other system because it's little bits like that, so I'm not sure if you have to put it all together before you put it on the bike, so the rest is in there. I'm not going to do that. If you do have to put it all together before you put it on the bike, then I'll weigh it, but I'll just weigh this bit so we can see how heavy this monstrosity actually is. And that system weighs 15.5-ish pounds, so it's a heavy old lump. Right, so hopefully that's the hard bit done. I can't see that with my skills, but we'll have a go. We're going to crack on now and have a go at fitting the full system from Black Widow. So let's do it. Right, so now we're on to the fun part. We've got the down pipes. We connect these first and then put them onto the two connectors that then go into these beautifully made little, I don't know, what's the technical term for those? Bits of pipe, I suppose. Swirly things. They go onto the swirly things, which then go onto the exhaust. And then we put them on the bike and everything looks hunky-dory. In theory, that is. Right, battery's running out, so I need to change that. Don't want to miss anything. Right, we're back, so we're going to fit these beauties here. These lovely downpipes. They are numbered 1 to 4, but on the instructions it seems to say nothing, so I guess they're all the same. So we're going to do that, and it's basically what we just did, taking them off, but in reverse, putting some new ones on. You put the downpipes on first, then work your way backwards. Oh yeah, and it doesn't say in the instructions, but I assume you use the bolts you just took off because there's no bolts in the pack that I can see. So I'm going to use the original bolts, or nuts I should say, not the bolts. The bolts are already attached to the engine, obviously. So I'm going to use the original nuts to fix the new downpipes on. Yeah, I think that's technical enough. Right, calm yourselves down. I nearly forgot gaskets. You've got to put new gaskets on. It says if the old ones are good, you can still use them, but looking at the downpipes, they're part of the downpipe, so we're going to put these ones on. They come with a kit, so you might as well. Oh, this is fiddly because of gravity. Gravity's not your friend in this one. Right, so there we go. Let's just do these finger tight. Just keep that gasket in place. It says do not tighten them. You need to move them about a bit. So we've got the gasket in there, we've got the two nuts on. So that's one, and then about 6 hours later, I should have all the rest finished. Right, welcome back. Those of you that would have noticed I did that wrong, this bit here, I haven't taken it off. We got it here. This is the wrong one. They are numbered 1 to 4, but unfortunately in instructions it doesn't tell you which way around 1 to 4 goes. It just says 1 to 4, 4 pipes. Assumed they were all the same, they're not. You've got different bits. So let me just have a little look. I've worked out number 4, which is that obviously goes on this side, the end can side of it. And the only reason I worked that out is because in the picture, I mean, you may call me stupid, it's quite acceptable, it's been known before. But if you look at the picture, where we're going, this one right here, the little hook bit here is on the outside, whereas this one is on the underneath. But if you look at that, when you sit there, that'll go on the outside. And the only reason I know that is because I looked at the pictures, because it doesn't say 1 to 4. So basically 1 is on that side, the opposite side to the end can. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on this side. So I've got to take this off and then fiddle about and put number 4 on. So 4, 3, 2, 1 going the other way. Once again, I'm not going to bore you. It goes on in exactly the same way onto there with the gasket and the nuts. So we're going to do that and then we're going to get on with it. And hopefully that will work, that will fit, and then we can move on to the next bit. Right, so let's get on with this. Number 4, which is the correct one for here, because this little hook is on the outside, and if you look at the picture, this hooks onto the next part via the outside. The others have got them in a slightly different place. The one on the other side, which is number 1, has got this, but on the outside on the other side. If that makes any sense whatsoever. But luckily I found out that by looking at the pictures, rather than putting them all on and then relying on just the fact that it says now fit the downpipes. It does say leave them loose, by the way, so I'm not fully tightening these up. We're just getting them so the gasket doesn't drop back out. Right, so there we go. Number 1, or should I say number 4? That's number 4. Number 1, other side, remember? Doesn't tell you the instructions, but I'll tell you. I'll put you right. I will. Anyway, you get the drift of this. I'm going to spare you my agony and crack on with the other 3 downpipes. Right, so all the downpipes on, and I've got to say that was fiddly as, well, I'm not going to swear, very fiddly. They're all loose at the moment because you don't want them tight because you've got to adjust them. So they're all finger tight on the bolts, but to balance the gasket and put the nuts on while laying on a cold garage floor is not pleasant, and it's very fiddly. If you've got big hands, it's going to be very, very fiddly. So I would suggest, if you've got a ramp, bloody use it. But they're on now. As I said, they're only finger tight, quite finger tight, if that makes sense. But we now move on to the next stage, which I will assume is fitting the connectors onto that bit. Right, so now we're on to the next stage, and it says, right, we've done the front pipes, can be fitted with a gasket, so we've just done that, don't tighten up. And then it moves on to number 9, and that says, with the downpipes fitted, now use the supplied 50mm M8 bolt kit to secure the system to the lower right side mounting point, which is there. But that's all we've done. That's stage 8. That's stage 9. Where's stage 8.5? We've got to fit these bits first. I assume these bits fit to there, do they not? Have I got the right kit? I mean, when I look at this, number 9, that's that bit, which is over here somewhere. So that's over here, something like that, and that bit goes under there. But we've got to fit these bits first, but there's no instructions for those bits, so I mean, thank you very much for the free exhaust, really appreciate it, but the instructions need well, they leave a lot to be desired. You go from stage 8 downpipes to stage 9, fix it to there, even though we haven't got those bits on yet. Strange. Anyway, right, so let's fit these. These are numbered 3, 4, 1, 2 on that side. So again, if we go from this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be pretty straightforward. 3, 4 this side, 1, 2 that side. Right, so let's mount this part to these bits. So 4, 3, right, that slides in there. That's quite easy. So 1 there, and then 1 on this side. I'm going to go and look for the proper tool for the job. It's obviously not 1 in the kit, or if there is 1 in the kit normally, it hasn't come with this one. So if it's not in the kit, you need to send them out. It needs to be in the kit. But I think I've got one somewhere. If not, I use some pliers and brute strength. Pliers. Oh, it's not as hard as I thought. The springs are quite, not weak, but they're not, it's not as tense as I thought it was going to be. There we go, all that moaning, and it was actually pretty easy. Obviously these are not tight at the moment. I've got these finger tight up here, so everything moves, so we can put it all in place and then fiddle around with it and get all the placings right when I put the end can on and everything. But at the moment, it's a bit loose. Right, so what I'm going to do is exactly the same with the other side. I'm going to put that piece on. You don't need to see that with the springs as well. And then you just put the sensors into the holes that are already pre-put in there. So you just screw those in, and then that's that bit done. Or what I might do is actually put that in there once it's all fitted up, so when I'm moving it around and jiggling it, as they say, that doesn't get jiggled with it. Is that a Will Smith song? because I don't want that wire to break or any of those sensors to break. So I'm going to fit it all, then I'm going to put that into there. Pretty much the reverse of what I did when I took the exhaust off. Right, so we've now done that one, and what I've just noticed is I've flicked the page and it's right. You don't put the sensor in just yet, although the picture's got the sensor in. A couple of there you go, number 11, a couple more stages later, and it says fit the lambda sensors, or refit the lambda sensors. So at the moment you don't fit them, you wait for it all to be, it actually says tighten here. Where are we now? The system can now be tightened up. But what I'm going to do, see, this is the problem, it shows little bits like this, which is the bit that sits there. Sorry, let that focus. Yeah, the bit that sits on there, which is that bit there. The picture shows that on. The last picture shows the lambda sensor in. So it would be nice if the pictures actually corresponded to what they're actually talking about. It's a case of, I think the pictures were taken with the system fully on rather than stage by stage. I think that's what it needs, stage by stage photos, because not everyone's a genius. So I think I've proved that today. I'm not actually going to tighten these just yet. I'm going to put that rear bit on, that bit, so that marries up with those two bits there. So I'm going to put that bit onto there, then I'm going to tighten up these front bolts here. It says as well, I can't get the camera under there, but make sure that the pipes do not touch the sump. So we're going to make sure there's a gap between these pipes and the sump on both sides. Right, so let's stick this on. This is pretty straightforward. It's got a B on it, and that one's got an A on it. This has got an A and a B on it, or B and A, whichever way you want to look around. And just shove that on there, shove that one in there. Give that a squeeze. We've got two more of these to go on, so this should hold it in place. Springs, that's the word. I'm very technical, you see. I know all the technical jargon, springs and everything. So we're going to do that. I'll assume there's one on this side. There is. Right, so there you go. That's that bit married to that bit, which is married to these bits here. And now we're going to tighten these up, and then I'll come back to you once I've done that. Here we go, just to make it a little bit more fun. My 10-inch ratchet spanner has just broken. It's just broken. So therefore, I'm going to have to use this end. We're going to have to go deep joy. Right, so luckily I found a little ratchet set that I've got. I got this for Christmas actually, from Mr. Billy Big Bones, so thank you very much. This came in handy. Fits up there really nice. If you've got a small ratchet set, fits on there nice and easily. So once I found that, it was a piece of piddle just to do it. I probably could have saved myself 20 minutes if I'd just looked for that in the first place. Right, so where are we on next stage? Again, it's saying fit in that, fit that. But that is actually on this bit. This bit sits in there, but you're on stage just after the downpipes, and it's saying connect it to there, but this is here. So I've obviously got to connect that onto that, and then connect that onto that, and then I'll put that in there. I think that's how it goes, or that's the way I'm going to do it anyway. So, although there are instructions, they're not the clearest instructions I've ever seen. So, Black Widow, pull your finger out, get these sorted. Right, so let's fit that onto there, and then into there, and then we can put that into there, and then we can put the end can on. This little beauty here can go on there, well, sorry, on there, which is there, which is there. You know what I mean. That's got a spring, so I'll assume that goes that way. There we go, another spring. Stick that on there. Get me pliers. That's on there, and that actually lines up pretty good with there. So let's get the kit that it comes with, which is this, in a little bag, and that goes on there. That's the only bolt kit that comes with it, so it's definitely that one, which is just that. Oh, juicy. That goes through there. Let's have a little bit of a fiddle, and then the washer goes on the back. The washer, the nut, and then just need an Allen key. One up from there. I don't know why I sang that. Again, I'm not going to do that super tight. I'm just going to get it on there, because obviously we've got to line up the exhaust, which goes on to there. So I'm assuming that link pipe does go on there that I left on the other system. I'll just go and get the other link pipe off and then attach it, and then we'll go from there. Right, so we've now put that link pipe on there, which attaches to there, and I've lined it all up so it goes to there. So what I'm going to do is throw that on now and loosely tighten that up. Then I'm going to put the lambda sensors back in this side and the other side, and then once it's all lined up and I feel it's all in the right place, I'm going to give them a good tighten up. These bits here, I say these bits, it's only this bolt. I've already tightened the front up so they're not going to move, so they're not touching the sump either side down here. So you've got a little bit of a gap here and a little bit on the other side, so that's all secure. But I'm not going to tighten these up because I've got to put that onto there, and then once that's all on, we can fire her up and see what she sounds like. So let's put the end can on, or the cherry on the cake. I don't know, what do you call it? Is that too dramatic? I don't know. Anyway, let's just stick that beauty on there. And these little bolts here are just 10 mils. And then you've got this bit here, which I took off earlier. And that's just that spacer, a bolt, and a nut. And they all sit in here. So that goes on there. That spacer sits there. Shove that through there. Put this little nut on the back here. That's all in place-ish. Place-ish. I don't know what I meant shh, but I did. What I meant to say, that's all in place. So let's position so these bolts are on the outside. It's not the prettiest I've ever seen connection, but it'll do. Let's have a little look, make sure that the end can itself is lined up with the back wheel from the back. I'm not going to show you guys that because it's just a little bit of OCD. Let's give that a tighten. I'm not going to put it fully tight. There you go. And then I'm just going to tighten these up. Now I could spin that round the other way, but I quite like it. I say I like it. It's more handy that way, and I'm not going to catch my foot on the end of the screw that way. So stick that there. Let's tighten that up. I have got some exhaust, I don't know what you call it, cement sealant, that I'll see how it goes. I might stick that on. I did stick it on when I just put the end can on, but I've still got some left somewhere. So that comes with the end can. Not sure if it comes with the, well, it doesn't because I've got both, didn't I? Definitely comes with that, but not with this. So if you buy an end can, you will get an exhaust sealant, and that's a torque setting of about that, and this one's a torque setting of about that, and then a little bit more. I like to make sure my exhausts stay on, you see. There probably are torque settings to this, and I'm not really that fussed. It's only an exhaust. It's not rocket science, is it? It's exhaust science. Let's give that a snug tighten up. Wow, I think we're done. We may actually be done. What I'm going to do is tidy up a little bit, then give you a little look at the exhaust as it is on the bike. Then I'm going to start it up, and then I'm going to show you what it's like baffle in and baffle out. Oh, all the good stuff on this channel. Stick around, that bit's coming up. Oh, lambda sensors, definitely got to put those in. So I'm going to put those in, then I'm going to show you around and start it up. Right, so a quick note on the other side. I've had to reroute the lambda sensor down here, this wire here. It was running in here and down and through there, but it does say you might have to reroute it. So it's through there, and it runs over the top. I don't actually like it there. I prefer it if it was in the original position here, because this, I mean, that's the gear shift there, and it's just in front of that, so it sits on that bolt. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of something there to keep it in place, because I don't want it coming round and sitting round here. I just want it there. And there's not a lot to play with, to be honest. There's not a lot of stretch in that, so that's the best I can do. said I was going to do baffle in, baffle out, but I'm just going to do baffle out because last time I put the baffle in, there's a little screw that holds the baffle in, and if you drop it, it sits right inside there. It falls down in there. See the hole there? And now I had to take the whole end can off to rattle it about to try and get it back out, and it takes some rattling. It's really annoying to get out, so the screw needs to be longer so it's easier to get hold of, because if you get it wrong and you drop it, it rattles inside the casing of the end can, the little bit on the end. So that's annoying. I did it about 5 times trying to do it when I did the end can only with the normal system, so I'm not going to do it now. I can't be bothered, because if I drop it, I'm that tired now, and I've hit my knuckles that many times with the spanners that I might lose my shit. So what I'm going to do is just baffle out. You're going to have to deal with it. Baffle in, I may do that another time, but for this video, you're just going baffle out. Why not? Full out, baffle out. And there you go. I'm actually quite impressed with that.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get going. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and